What if I told you that without metagaming, without cheesing the game, without exploiting or using mods, with just setting your game up with Ironman mode and achievement settings so that you can gain achievements, you could get in a single campaign 35, that is over half of the 50 achievements in the game in a single playthrough, while not metagaming, while not cheating, without using any exploits, and if you want, which I'm going to do today, playing historically and not even just going crazy and blobbing and conquering the world, while playing to a historical focus and RPing a bit as you go, you can get over half the achievements in the game. Welcome to the video, and I hope you enjoy. Now, just some heads up before we get into this video. Like I said, there's 35 achievements I'll be aiming for. 34 of them I'm actually really confident for. The 35th is not a difficult achievement. It just might be a bit complicated because of where it fits in the video. Spoiler alert, I did not achieve all 35 in this video. There's two reasons for that. The first reason is a bunch of them I actually already had, so the achievements will not pop in this video. There are 18 that I did not have that I'm looking to get. The achievements will pop, but there are a bunch, obviously the rest that I already had, so the achievements will not pop on video. I already have them, but I will be achieving them still in this video. They're all ones that are still easily achievable, and I will be achieving them. The other thing is, a little bit of a spoiler alert, I did not achieve every single achievement in this video simply because that was not possible. One of the achievements in particular is to play until 1837. I simply did not have the time for that, but that is an achievement I do intend to achieve in this campaign. So if you would like to see me continue this in a part 2 and maybe even a part 3, please do consider hitting that like button. I'd really love to hit a like goal of 30 likes on this video. If we can do that, then I will release a part 2, which I will already be playing, but I will probably not record it unless we hit that like goal. So if you do want to see me continue, then please do hit that like goal. I'd really appreciate it. I've been so grateful of the support that I've gotten in the last couple of videos. It's been really awesome, and it just makes me feel really good. So thanks so much. The other things I just want to get out of the way. I mentioned that I'll be playing somewhat historically focused. I just wanted to explain what that meant so that everyone was on the same page as to what the purpose of this video is. I enjoy playing historical. That's just the way I like to play. I find that fun. I think historical play comes with limitations. You know, blobbing and metagaming and stuff like that can be a lot of fun for a lot of people, but obviously it's you getting as powerful as you can regardless of anything, which is good, but it will mean that you are exponentially more powerful. These sorts of games are well balanced, but not perfectly balanced by any means, and if you metagame and if you blob and stuff like that, you'll become silly powerful really quickly. I like to limit myself to some historical confines to make it harder for myself and more interesting, and get those monkey neurons firing a little bit more, because I'm like, oh, history, woo! Right? So that is kind of one of the intentions of this game. What do I mean by that? Two things with that. I don't mean I'm going to wait until historical dates. Obviously, this campaign is an England to Britain campaign. I'm not going to wait till 1707 to unify the British Isles, or to officially unify England and Scotland and form Great Britain. I am not going to wait until the 1800s to even look at Africa or India. That is gonna be crazy, and that's a big I might wait quite late to dive into, for example, India for roleplay purposes, because it's later and they're stronger and it's more difficult. Who knows, maybe we'll get super lucky and see a Mughals, but I do doubt that. But I'm not going to wait for historical dates. However, I might wait for rough historical timelines. For example, once I get my king to also be ruling Scotland, because I do intend to have a sovereign Scotland, I may leave it 100 or so years until I unify, for example, that sort of thing. The main thing, what I mean though by historical accuracy and that sort of thing, is I do intend to conquer and control only lands that are historically Britain or Britain adjacent. I'll get onto what I mean by Britain adjacent later, because that's only a tiny thing anyway. But lands that Britain controlled or Britain adjacent nations controlled. The only exception from that is France. I will not be controlling any of France initially, for historical accuracy, I suppose, and just honestly to make the game a bit easier. I will be fighting the 100 Years' War. The game is designed for England to fight the 100 Years' War. If I don't, I will simply fade away and die before I get the chance to go overseas. There's ways that you can definitely do it, but I would like to fight the 100 Years' War. I think it would just make the whole game a lot smoother. So I will be fighting the 100 Years' War. I will be fighting the French. I will be trying to get French vassals, but I will intentionally be giving them up by the mid 1500s. I start to slowly release vassals in the early 1500s once I feel like I'm in a good position to do so. I start to slowly release those French nations. The only land in the French region that I will be keeping is Jersey, the island of Jersey and Guernsey, the Channel Islands, because they are actually still a dependency of Britain today. There's an interesting story with that. Technically, the King of England currently, the King of Britain now, is still technically the Duke of Normandy, even though the Duchy of Normandy was dismantled by the French, but to stop England from coming back. But that's a whole different story for another day. That's the only part of the French region I will be owning towards the later part of this campaign. So I just want to throw that out there. France is the only exception of historical land that I will not be owning, but I will be looking at, when I say Britain adjacent, I am talking about, of course, the union with Hanover, the union with Netherlands, for example. Those are lands I will look to, not laser focus in on. They're not important. If I can't achieve them, I can't achieve them, but they're lands I would deem acceptable to own parts of for this campaign without it being against my own rules. So that's the kind of historical thing out the way. I'll only be taking historical land. I got 35 achievements. I will show them on screen. This intro has been way too long, so I'll get into the videos right now. But if you have enjoyed, please do consider subscribing and liking. It really helps me out. It makes me feel really good inside. I'm really grateful for all the support that we've had. So yeah, thanks very much, and I hope you enjoy the video. Right, let's do this for real. Let's make it happen. I'm gonna do some funky things. I'm gonna do largely the strategy that I always like to do, which is scootage this guy, make a vassal here and scootage them, and then try and steal these vassals for myself, basically. That's perfect. That's perfect. Spain calls me to war with Morocco. I beat up Morocco. I get Gibraltar. Let's go. What a result. What an absolute result. Did that? Yes. Yes, it did. No, it didn't. Okay, it's fine. But if I got a cardinal seat, it'd give me a lot of strength. Ha! Ha! Boys. Oh. I'm so cooked that I laughed at that. But it is, you know. It's only been nearly 5 hours. In the next 5 hours, I could go downhill real quick, lads. Things could get worse. Oh, France is in so much trouble now. Oh, good lord. Oh, if half these people join, I'm going for it. If half these people join, I am going for that. Bohemia and Austria, come on, lads. Let's batter the living shit out of France, please. Liège, why did you do that? What's this event? Castilian Alliance. What's this? I've never seen this event before. We'll make the following proposal. England will support Castile against the Crown Pretenders. Castile will join the 100 Years' War on the side of England. I get land in Spain. It's not about the spoils of glory of combat. Oh, for the glory of combat. I honestly, I'm not that fussed about getting that coalition there. I now have a Hohenzollern-Brandenburg as a vassal, which means I can ensure they don't get murdered. Is it aggressive expansion? Yeah, kinda. Am I going to be attacked? Probably not. Barrow's still devastated. Okay. Right, so we're fighting the French. Their prosperity has, for the most part, recovered. But their population went down 5 million? Oh, because they annexed Normandy. Oh, I can steal the Bayeux Tapestry this war. There's a real opportunity here to steal the Bayeux Tapestry. Cool. Alright, I'm going to just go in for it. I maybe butchered the French, but, you know, it's fine. Oh, that's a bit gross. Oh, that's a bit gross. But it's kind of funny at the same time. Like, economy-wise, I'm in a really healthy place. I'm fully paying for culture. I'm half paying for Diplo. I'm paying for exploration in a couple places. Paying for stability. I'm max legitimacy. Like, this is a good place to be economically at this early stage. I have not begun my snowball yet because I haven't unlocked the better techs. How's it going, guys? Welcome back. I'm not sure how much of the beginning portion of this campaign I will have actually added in this video, so I'm not sure what you guys haven't seen, just because I recorded majority of it on during my live stream during my birthday subathon. So it was quite a lot going on. It was also I was also playing music and things like that, so it could be a little bit difficult in terms of YouTube. I was playing soundtracks that I believe are okay with YouTube, but just in case, I'm not sure exactly how much I'm going to add at this time because I haven't started the edit yet. But we played for about 12 or so hours in this campaign. We haven't actually got any of our intended achievements yet, which is a bit of a shame. We have completed achievements in this run, but they're ones that we... Wait, are these ones I've done? No, these aren't the ones I've done this campaign. Where can you see? There was a thing to show the ones you've done this campaign, but maybe there's not anymore. Yeah, we've not done any this campaign just yet. So, yeah, it's been an unfortunate one, but I am looking to get a couple quite soon. It's 1420, so we're getting very, very close to New World. So that will be probably the first one. It'll be New World. It will be Naval Hegemon. I think Economic Hegemon is going to be a bit of an ask because there are, to my understanding, China is split into several. I mean, I'm struggling to beat Bohemia, to be honest. Bohemia is mega OP anyway, but to my understanding, China has been split into several parts. So actually beating the Chinese economies, all of them, it's going to be quite difficult. I'm actually 7th great power, which feels pretty good for England at this early stage. But if you'll notice, between 1 and 7, there are several missing, as well as several between 8 and 15. So I think we've got a couple in India, and then a couple in China, I believe. Mali's probably one of them if they're still holding on strong, because they do have the Empire ranks. They tend to be quite high up. But yeah, it's going to be quite hard to beat the Chinese and the Indians for economic hegemon, but I'll certainly be trying, especially as I discover the New World. We are going to start to snowball pretty hard here. We're doing quite well on research. I've got so much queued up because I kind of did all my essentials, and now I'm just kind of going for some extra nice ones. I just got meritocracy, so there's some really, really good ones in meritocracy. Naval presence is really, really good. We're actually having a really strong campaign, but still a long way to go. This is something I'm really not understanding. This kid's only got a few years left of education. How is he only at 28 admin? He has no negative trait, and he's got an expensive education. How is he only... I don't understand. How could he be that bad? I've swapped over to the Lancaster line. Accidentally, but it worked out really well. When I saw I had a female heir, I was like, you know what, yeah, I'll marry her to a Lancaster, and it worked out. Kind of hilariously. Unfortunately, my king has died, which sucks, so my crown power has stayed the same, actually, because she's better admin than he was. But, yeah, I'm not really understanding the education system and why it's failed me so badly, to be honest, but hey-ho. Okay, so we actually got the War of the Roses, which is new and fun and exciting, but it's just not... There's nothing good going for it, unfortunately, right now. We have either our current heir, who is actually pretty fine in these two, but this is just upsetting. Or we have... Wait, Lancaster Pretenders. Why would the York join the Lancaster Pretenders? So am I supposed to support York? He's so bad. Like, he's so bad, but I do like the fact that the Yorks have the Rose, at least. I'm gonna go with it. We'll see what happens. Why not? I just wanna bring up a point, right, about the general difficulty of the game, because I think, again, if you're playing your Englands, your France, your Spain, the game isn't mega difficult, right? Especially if France and Bohemia, they're incredibly powerful. The game's not mega difficult if you're playing the easier nations. If you're playing minor nations, I would say that this game actually can be quite difficult for the average player. But just to prove a point, I think England is the weakest of these three, and these four are definitely the strongest in the game right now, right? And I think England is the weakest of the four overall. There are things that England does better than Bohemia, for example, and things that England does better than France, for example. Like it does, navies better than both, for example. I think it does armies better than Bohemia, although Bohemia does economy better than England, for example, whatever. There's a lot of complicated things that this game does, or things that seem complicated at least. Maybe they're not so complicated. This game does to get across sort of powers and strengths and stuff. Anyway, France, as a point to my earlier comments about the AI aggressiveness, got themselves a coalition very, very early. Originally, it was all of Germany, but only the border states seem to have joined. This is, I think, the third I will need to double check the footage. I think it's the third, it's at least the second time that I have gone in on France and the coalition has declared at the same time. France obviously had Tecklenburg earlier and a lot of this lowlands land, which I took off them. The coalition didn't do any of that. They still have this subject that the coalition isn't taking away from them. I don't know what the coalition has demanded at any given time, but France has been under full siege 2 or 3 times in this campaign, maybe 4, because I've warred them probably about 5 or 6 times, and I think at least 3 or 4 of them I've full sieged them. They have kept bouncing back. Now they are weaker. They're 20th great power, which actually is quite a big drop for the French. But they're continuing to bounce back. They're continuing to be a problem. Now they're actually at this particular point. I would say they've been generally quite easy for me to beat. I would certainly sort of concede that at this particular moment they've not been too hard for me to beat. But that is because I have vassal swarmed. I did have 2 allies. Of course, naturally, with the 100 Years' War, everyone on my side bailed immediately. A couple people on their side, these guys and these little guys have bailed on their side. But if you notice my side, everybody has bailed except Ireland. And for some reason, even though Lothian bailed, Lothian's vassals stayed in. I don't know why. Everyone on my side bails. 1 or 2 small nations on their side bail. You know, they're the attacker as well. So I feel like it makes less sense for the defenders' allies to all scatter immediately. Why would they even accept the war if they're going to scatter, you know? That aside, it's been so hard to systematically dismantle the French. And I want to make a very strong point of saying me and a lot of people like me don't enjoy playing like this at all. I don't want to deal with France. I don't want to be involved in the 100 Years' War. I'm not interested in it. I want to go on a big historical style colonial adventure and have a big empire over here. Maybe have some dominions or unions with the Dutch and with some of the Germans. Cool, you know, something historical, or at least vaguely historical. Historical maybe with a stretch to it, because I did take Brandenburg. But I could always give them up later. I don't want to do this. I don't enjoy this. But I have to do it, and I have to put so much focus on it, because actually beating up the French is so draining and time consuming for the average nation. I have to do it, and I have to go full on with it as well. And I think that's a bit of a flaw in this game. In EU4, the first good war with the French as England, you could dismantle them till end of game. They'd almost never come back. Someone else would just annihilate them when you're not looking. You know, if you broke them apart, Burgundy would just sweep in, Spain would sweep in and just tear them in 2. You know, like it wouldn't even matter. And I don't think that was necessarily a good thing for the game. But I do think the fact that 4 or 5 wars in, I'm still not able to get them to a point where they don't even attack me anymore. They still continue to attack me. They still, on paper, in a lot of ways, are appearing stronger. At the moment, their economy is completely ruined. The only reason their economy is ruined is because I've balkanized the trade. Like, I've destroyed the trade map. And I actually want them to fix this, because you actually can't starve out a nation that's in someone else's trade, which, again, I think is a bit of an issue. They definitely should be cut off from trade. They definitely should be starving in Paris. Somehow, they have a connection to Cologne from Paris. I don't know about that. There's 2 levels of occupation in between, but either way, now the French vassals are starting to see it. I think it's whichever side's losing, but the problem is, because they start as the attacker, I start with negative war score. Like, they start and it's 0, but it's red, and they jump on my vassal, win the first battle, and everybody leaves. I think that's a bit weird. I don't think it should be based on that necessarily. I think maybe there should be an interaction to pay a hefty sum to get people out, like there is to get people in. I don't like the fact that everybody on my side just bails immediately because they got the upper hand initially. Ah! Naval hegemon. Cool. Oh. Never heard of these guys. Diplomatic and cultural hegemon. Yeah, there's just no way I'm going to become economic hegemon anytime soon. That might not be this part of the series campaign, to be honest. That might not be this part. And I'm not in a way, I'm kind of semi-min-maxing, semi-not, because I'm building in places with really high production efficiency, prioritizing that. So in a sense, that is kind of min-maxing. But that means that I'm building far, far less often. Because I want to urbanize places appropriately. I want to cultivate control. I want to cultivate. So I'm not just going, well, I'd get production efficiency up here, but I don't have control and it's not a town. And I'm just built it a town and started building up there, you know? That is kind of the way I play. I will get control up there in time and I will snowball harder when that happens. Does that give me... No. Alright, so I've managed to spawn New World in London, which is kind of funny. I can shot those spawned in Alexandria, which seems a bit weird. Population of Paris is growing. Sorry, how is the population of Paris growing while under siege and devastated? That doesn't make sense. I don't... If large food storage, nah, you have no food. How are they getting food from the market enough to fill up their stockpile? That's crazy. Is there just nothing I can do then about the is there just nothing I can do about the Paris just bouncing back hard? I don't get it. I don't understand. So I just pieced out the French. I released Anjou, I released Champagne, Rethel, and Roussy and Soissons. I don't know. I released as many people as I could. It looks like in this particular occasion, Hainaut was released by the coalition and their alliance was broken with, the Kingdom of Spain. Didn't even notice they were Spain, which is nice. What land could you possibly desire belonging to me? You absolute plebiscite. Anyway, Spain's giving us some money. Cool. It turns out I also spawned printing press. So it's probably actually been in my interest to have turned off historical, because now I've spawned 2 of the new institutions, which I probably shouldn't have spawned. Where even is that? Is that in Portugal? It's in Portugal. I don't know if it's Spain or Portugal. That's kind of cool. So we've got printing press, which actually tends to be, in my experience, the harder one of the 3 to get. Alright guys, I've queued up 33 things ending with the paved road. Now the paved road is valuable, and it's certainly not 33 researches later kind of thing. Like, I should be just really getting it as soon as possible. This is a sucky event. I don't really want to pay the 600 and go into debt. I don't really want to... I'm gonna have to take that. That sucks. But I need to revolutionize my nation right now, because I am slipping behind in a way or two. So I'm pushing education, I'm pushing research. My research progress is pretty decent actually. My education situation is strong. Like, we are... Wow, Bohemia's doing really good. Damn. Again, Bohemia cracked. But yeah, my education is strong, especially obviously considering my massive population and how dispersed it is throughout the size of my nation. Comparatively, at least, to Bohemia. Obviously bigger nations, you know, but comparatively at least to Bohemia, right? Yeah. We are the only person that we know of to even have sufficient amounts of either, and we've embraced them both. So, wow, Bohemia on the pike and shot. That's crazy. Okay. We are chasing the... well, we were a lot closer. There was like 30 between us. Now there's nearly 100. Okay. We are chasing the cultural hegemon. We're not going to bother with Diplo, but we might get it naturally. And we're definitely chasing economic. When we form Great Britain, we will get our first achievement. But I kind of want to integrate Wales first. And I kind of want them to integrate their subjects first. We've got pretty good control kind of everywhere. But we still don't want to particularly expand unnecessarily. This spam from Parliament is crazy. Parliament spam is unreal. We're not even contested for military hegemony. Oh no, Major Payet just decided to build some heavies. I don't want to lose that, so I'm going to need to create a gradual heavy construction line, basically. Because I don't want to risk losing that. We need to sort of project more power up here, which is a bit difficult, but we're trying. We're doing it through maritime presence to Liverpool, but unfortunately to Carlisle. Carlisle is now doing it through presence. I picked the 2 places with the best natural harbour, by the way, in case you're wondering why I've decided to pick these 2 random cities. They're both obviously major places in real life as well, in real history, but yeah, I picked the natural harbour, is what I did. That's what I kind of have been doing, generally speaking. Just gives the most proximity as well, reduction. Okay, so my goal of getting the French to make their own market again has finally worked. I used my naval hegemon to force Ulick to embargo the French, which means they were just ruined beyond all belief and ooh. Is this a historical character or is this random? I guess, I mean, the stats got to be random, surely. I mean, that's an impressive one. Or is this historical person? I don't know. But that event, I could get to convert for less progress. I want more progress. I am just saving up my money now to buy an Explorer, because Explorers are crazy expensive. And then we're going overseas. We're finally ready to go overseas. So that'd be nice. I don't know what I want in terms of any of this. Not much of it, really. I guess I could expand armories. Cheap armories are a good thing, even though I'm going heavily naval. Oh, same religious group. Wait, what am I currently on? Same religion. Ah, that's a good idea. Actually, a good... There we go, new Paris market. Cool. Now, next war with the French, I can actually properly enact some harm. In fact, I can declare on them now. Alrighty, so I am about to discover South America in the form of Brazil, ironically. That was not what I was aiming for first, but you know, it happens. I don't have anyone really particularly suitable, but I'm going to go and discover the Americas now. Ticking off our first achievement of this run, which is kind of wild. Obviously, if I hadn't already played nearly 300 hours in the game, I should have had way more that I've done this run. And to be honest, the fact that I have only done Discover the New World at like 300 hours, I think I'm like 289 hours or something, is kind of crazy for someone who actively was a defender of the colonization mechanics in EuV4. Like, there were issues with it. I do wish that there was some more historical focus on it, as opposed to a bit more, as opposed to the randomness that we do have. But I was a big defender that there was something there to be enjoyed. And I've not even tried it on this one yet. Although as I'm starting to snowball, I'm starting to see shortages in my supply chain, which is questionable. But it's fine. We'll figure it out as we go. London is massive population. 403,000 people in 1455. Now, I know vaguely that it was in the early 1700s, I believe it was, early to mid 1700s, when London went through a massive revamp, and very major parts of the city today, such as South Bank and Waterloo area, and the whole district of Westminster, for that matter, didn't exist at this time, and it just hit 600,000 people, and that is a couple hundred years from now. So yeah, London is growing at an incredible rate. I'm super happy with it. Paris is growing really fast as well, but because it got such a big setback earlier, and it's due another setback soon as well, it's been really good. It's been really good. London is growing really fast. I wonder if you can see cities on here. Can I see locations? The highest population location. Oh wait, this is just my country, isn't it? I think this is just my country. Damn. I want to compare with other nations. That's annoying. I want to compare with other nations. Okay, I saved up a bit, got myself a new explorer. He's got a good trait for monthly progress, and I'm sending him to the east coast because I realize this is just the sea. And also, I don't know why, but it's just not going up. I don't really know what's going on here. Maybe it's bugged a bit, I'm not sure. Maybe I don't have range. I might actually just stop him doing it, to be honest. Bermuda, do it. You can go for that, you're young. I'm gonna make some cities. So, oh wow, I'm the third power without being an empire. That's crazy. That's crazy. What is that coming from mostly? Let's do a quick ruinous war on the French, because we are under 50 years away from when I pledged to abandon the continent altogether. And that's going to really, really hurt me when I abandon the continent. And it's going to really strengthen France. So I do very much want to do everything in my power to leave them with a sore taste. Basically, I want to leave them in as poor stead as possible because they are my biggest threat. Spain is a problem, but Spain has nothing compared to the French in military might and population. Even though, again, like, they're good in both those categories, they're a lot more comparable to me, which means a one-on-one fight is a lot more reasonable. I mean, I'm 3.36. They're 6 million. That actually is a lot higher than I thought it was going to be. That makes me dread. Bohemia's got more than me as well. That makes me dread the thought of how much France is going to have when they unify. There's me thinking I'm doing well and competing with the great powers. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I've just been suppressing France brutally for this entire game, and I'm actually not as strong as I thought I was. Oh dear. What legitimacy, but I don't really need a legitimacy. I got it a bit early, but I got Discovery of the New World. I don't know where I landed. Landed on a small island where they encountered people. I've never seen this event, by the way, guys. So, gold ornaments. I guess this event is designed for... There's no way if I landed up here, people were wearing gold ornaments. Unless I did land down here. Because I have actually got a guy over here now. This might be an alternative route to the Indies. Besides I discussed it. It might be an entirely unknown continent. There we go. Brave New World. We've done our first achievement. That is great. We are sieging Paris. That is also pretty great. We are blasting through research, which is fantastic. Our economy is fluctuating a little bit. We're putting it under a lot of stress because I'm trying to, as rapidly as possible, revolutionize it ahead of, leaving France, because my vassal income is one of my major sources of income. And it has dawned upon me that deciding to play hard mode by not conquering my fellow Europeans is gonna really, really hurt me. I could have been conquering the lowlands. I could have conquered into Germany. I could have expanded Brandenburg, but I decided not to do that, and it's gonna hurt me in the long run. It's gonna be quite painful, I think. Paris is officially a starving province. I'm not. War crimes are bad, but I also don't want to feed them because they are very, very hot. How have you got control of that? They are very, very hostile to me. What do I do? What's the right thing to do there? We'll give it a few hundred years and see. As soon as the Geneva Convention is written, we will report on that. Okay, I've begun my first... Ooh, that was a bit of a lag. I've begun my first colony. Obviously, I've landed for Halifax. I could probably do them all at once and get way more out of it, but I am still planning on investing in myself quite heavily. So I'm going to do one sort of per little section of the country. I still actually don't know how colonization works in this game. I've kind of taken a lot of enjoyment from the fact that it's going to be, for the most part, a surprise. But I do need to get it going. I have to get it going now. So I'm not, like I say, I'm not really sure exactly what to expect. But hey, that's kind of, for me right now, that's a lot of the fun. No one would give me money because apparently they're all traitors. I've had to split my army up quite a bit because, again, the AI seems to just siege ridiculously fast. Now, in the past, I've made some really stupid mistakes, like not refilling my garrisons or not having my fort maintenance at full. But that's not the case in this example. They are just taking ages to... they're taking forts really, really quickly. And I don't know why. I mean, I'd sieged this fort, this was under siege, and I'd sieged this one. And I was sieging this one down here, and they sieged all of them back and were sieging Paris. And I was like, I don't understand. I mean, I have cannons and they don't as well, wait. Well, Paris is under some pain. Paris has just lost 20,000 people. They're suffering quite poorly over there. Native policy, we're actually going to go for integration. I really want the humanist, I really want the promote tribesman, and I really want the conversion. Otherwise, I probably would have gone for trade. I'm not going to go for this one just because the Society of Pops is really bad. I wish this was good, but like that's why I like this one, but it is what it is. It doesn't really matter if the, if the unsettled peoples aren't that, well, like me slightly less, because I can always improve with them. But the humanism is what I want, because I want to assimilate. I really want to assimilate. I want that cultural influence to be as high as humanly possible. And I just don't see serfdom as worth it for me right now. And I don't really even know what this CB does. Yeah, I'm just going to go for integration. Maybe it's not the most meta pick, but again, I'm going for fun. So it works. Okay, so I maybe let my my inner toxicity out a little bit. And I maybe might have gone a bit too hard on the French. Time will tell. Nothing's confirmed yet, but it's not good. They are hungry. Somehow not here. Interesting, there's stockpiles here. Interesting. Yeah, that's like nearly 40,000 people gone. Very high devastation. Yeah. It might be time to leave. I really want to give this over to Aquitaine so that they don't have a coast to colonize. But I don't want to completely nation ruin the French. That seems a bit over the top. My plan was to keep them beaten down for a while, but I don't want to go too much harder. So I think I am going to ask them for food access and all of their money, and I will be gone. Because I think I've probably overdone it. I got my 2 actual colonies now. One is St. Helena and the other one is the new colony in Canada, which is kind of cool. I've got something growing up here that I will eventually make into a colony of its own as well. We shall see. I might grow to regret making St. Helena a colony, to be honest. That might go on to be a regret of mine. I'm not sure. I feel like I should have. Okay, Major Pahet, no. Alright guys, just kind of a brief update because I'm not actually entirely sure how long it's been since I ended that war with France. I've just kind of been super locked in, which I guess is kind of weird, but I've just gone absolutely ham on a colonial business. I don't see anyone else. I know I was the first to discover it anyway. Spain has a bunch of colonies going on in sort of the African coast. I kind of think it's annoying how hard into West Africa all the European nations go straight away, but again, that kind of just leans into the thing I've already mentioned of like more historical focusing with the AI. I think would be nice for players like me, and I think a lot of players would like that. If it was a toggle option, people who don't like it don't have to complain, you know what I mean? But nations like France and Spain tend to go, and probably England as well, I've just never been in the region when they've done it, tend to go really hard in West Africa from the get-go, and it wasn't really a thing for a very, very long time. I mean, small outposts were settled, sure, but whole colonies were not really set up in West Africa for hundreds of years after the discovery of America. So yeah, I don't know, I find that a weird one. I find it really weird. Anyway, we are climbing the ranks. We are still cultural hegemon. We are wrestling for our naval hegemon back because Majapahet seem to have an empty bucket of money, like a limitless pit of money, that they are just continuously building heavy ships ever since they discovered them, which is quite frustrating. I kind of wish heavy ship power played a part in it as well, because I think I could definitely overtake them in that regard far easier. But yeah, it's been a bit of a challenge. I'm now the only European on the hegemons, which is kind of again, a bit weird, I guess. Ming is massive. Overtaking them for economic hegemon is going to be an endgame thing, I think. But yeah, seeing the Khmer and Majapahit on here, kind of weird. Those are two guys that should have had their collapse by now, but hey, you know, things happen. But that's kind of where we're at. We're just kind of grinding away and grafting, really. Another small update. I'm going to have to pause because I'm 5 speeding, so time is flying by. But Paris does not seem to have recovered. I mean, I've never seen it like this before. I don't think it was anything I've done. They're now at 60,000. They have just fallen through the floor. I mean, I left them alone when they were like, what, 80,000? I don't really know what the French are doing so badly. But what I might do is I might allow my subjects to end their embargoes. Oh no, I can't. I actually can't. Okay. Well, I guess that's France done then. Okay, so I had an event to declare war on the French again. And normally, at least beforehand, I was saying no to those events. Don't mind me creating a colony in South Africa in 1477. I definitely should have slowed down. Normally I would go quite slow on this sort of thing. At least I had in EU4, but just the AI is so rapid on it. I thought I better try and meet them, but yeah, I guess I didn't need to. But yeah, normally I'd say no to this event, but I realised, first of all, it's funny to beat them up. Second of all, Canada for some reason will not give me Jersey. You can't seize land from a province that borders by sea, only by a province that borders by land. So I took this province in the hopes that I could take that and then take that. You can't, you have to go that way around. Every single province is giving him 100 disloyalty. So I just decided I'm going to give up on trying to basically do that. So what I might actually do, because I have really screwed the balance of power here, is I might siege down Paris, do a bit more damage to them, and because I feel a bit guilty, I think I'm going to give them some land from Cannae. We'll see what they're willing to accept. That will make Cannae cheaper to integrate, which is really the main thing. Because if they're cheaper to integrate, it's easier life for me. Basically, that's where I'm at. Okay, guys, so through quite a bit of grinding, a little bit of diplomatic maneuvering, I appear to have made myself a bit of a tricky situation because France has fully collapsed, and the 100 Years' War does not end until either they don't exist, I own them, they own me, or they own everything, well, majority of France, and I own nothing. The idea was they were going to own majority, and then I was going to give up everything I had. The problem with that is they've completely collapsed. So I don't know exactly what to do here. I really did not want to own France proper. I didn't want to subjugate France or anything like that. I don't know. But we're 3 hegemons now. After a lot of work, we managed to overtake Majapahit. I mean, they are... I don't know how big these guys are, but... Good lord. Nearly 100k men? Okay, so they're actually a lot more ahead of me than they seem. They must be massive. Like, they must be massive. Look at Egypt, and then them, and then me. So I'm doing something right. But, like, there's not even a full list of people who have heavy ships. I don't... Or at least of the great powers. Like, I don't... Okay. I don't know how they're so strong. We managed to secure Diplo Hegemon. Didn't put any effort into this, but it's a good thing to have. And we managed to obviously maintain cultural hegemon. We are flying culture-wise. There may be other cultures that are more powerful than mine, but they're not great powers. So that's all that matters. It looks like there is someone with a culture more powerful than me, but they're not a great power, so it's fine. My culture is flying. I'm scared of this Ming. I must say, very scared of this Ming. Economic and military hegemon, and look at that economy. I mean, that is quite something. Yeah, they must be number 1, and Majapahit's probably number 2 or 4, and then probably Khmer's one of the others. I'm a little bit worried about them, but we have secured naval hegemon. We actually do have enough provinces to form Great Britain. Okay, I've finally got what I believe is the Treaty of Tordesillas event. I've never had this event, but from my understanding, it's a little bit buggy, but hey ho, let's see what we can do here. Shifting the line. I don't really care about enforcing a treaty. I just want to be able to grab what I can, you know, which is nice. I'm thinking of leaving. Well, I'm going to piece by piece, I'm going to leave France, but I don't think the French are doing a great job of consolidating, even though I'm pulling away. I think they're still struggling, which is not really an ideal scenario, but not really sure how to account for it. Okay, so Martin Luther has just spawned, and I'm wondering if it's worth converting, or whether it's worth... These are present in my country? That's wild. Or if it's worth waiting for the Anglican Church, which apparently doesn't exist, so I can't see it. Damn. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's worth waiting or not. We have a Reformation. I can embrace it. Okay, I've become diplomatic hegemon again. Still chasing this economic hegemon though. That is a long way away. I feel incredibly powerful and then at the same time not powerful at all. It's kind of like that. Wait, they're building dry docks. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I don't really know how I'm going to approach that. It'd be kind of cool to have 3 aspects of faith and tick that achievement off, but at the moment I'm counting the Royal Navy achievement as basically done because, let's be honest, not the Royal Navy, the Form Britain achievement is basically done because I am just waiting for the end of the 100 Years' War, which with France in its current state, there's actually nothing I can do about it anyway. So I don't really know what I'm supposed to do here, aside from subjugate France, which I don't want to do. So I'm not really sure. But also, if I help France too much, they're going to become a nasty force to deal with. So I also don't want to do that. Alright, we're getting pretty close to completing our next objective. I've got an insane level of headache, and this campaign has been about 20 hours, obviously not in one go, but 20 hours over the course of 2 quite long streams and then a couple of days as well off stream. So I think this achievement will be our last for the day. I'm counting the Form Britain and Hegemon achievement as done because this 100 Years' War is going to go on forever. I will say one of my major complaints about the 100 Years' War situation is how specific the end requirements are. Specific requirements are okay, and there are a few different ways you can end it, but it's like either England does crazy well or France does crazy well. I think there should be an option in here for, or at least I think there should just be an option for England as the aggressor in the 100 Years' War situation to just renounce their intention to take France. Like if I give up all my subjects now in the French region, it still won't end because France has collapsed. And that means I can't kind of go on and do the rest of my campaign. If this was an achievement only campaign, then that would screw that over, but I'm not playing this only for achievements. I'm doing it for the fun of the campaign. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's some needed work where that's in that regard. But we should any moment be able to see our new achievement. What is that? We should any moment now receive our achievements. That's cool. I'm just going to kind of build up more infrastructure coming in from my sort of major naval hubs, because that's kind of the way I'm getting control throughout my country. It's the best way to do it when you're playing someone like England or Britain, is to have sort of hubs, naval hubs, and then push proximity in from the coast like that. It's weird that that's the quickest route, not that, or that for that matter. Actually, that road, I guess that road's probably not built yet. No, whereas it's probably a road. It's not. Strange. I don't know why that's that way, but yeah. Census every time. We need more population. Thank you. I want to see if I can pass it as well for some free stability. Capital economy. Yes, please. I know I've cost stability doing it, but I gain more stability than I lose, and capital economy is really the reason I'm making money, actually. That extra production efficiency has been huge. That plus I've given tons of privileges to my workers. I don't like all of these, but you know, it's not worth really mucking about seeing which ones to remove. Like maybe this one would be worth removing. Maritime presence isn't that essential to me now. I've got a massive navy working on it, but yeah. Some of my later achievements are definitely going to require me to butcher my estates a bit because I want to centralize for one of those achievements. It's going to be really hard to do that. Centralization I don't think's really going to be a big deal for me this game, to be honest. If I do have it that way, it's going to be a long way away. So that's kind of a shame, but it's just too awkward to try and centralize. I've got vassals that are pushing me, which is a shame, but also I need to keep them loyal, and even over halfway towards full decentralization, there are gaps in the liberty desire here and there that I'm not really sure why. Like, obviously the colonies are super loyal, but I mean, I'm not paying for diplomatic spending, but it's 42 on that little amount. It's just not worth it. I could be snowballing so much harder if I don't pay for it, so I'm not going to pay for it. There we go, city skylines unlocked. And with that, I think we're gonna call this one a day. I've unlocked the achievement for discovering the new world. I'm going to consider myself to have unlocked this achievement because I am going to unlock this achievement in this campaign because I have a defensive league. Oh yeah, with Spain. I didn't even know I did that. Must have done it just because of the French. Yeah, I will count that as this achievement done because I can do it and I am naval hegemon. All I'm doing is waiting for the situation to end, which I'm not a fan of that whole system. But whatever. I don't want to own France. I don't want to subjugate France. If I did subjugate them, it would be purely so that I could help them grow, but also helping France will be a massive hindrance to me because even in this fragile state, they're no pushover. They're not strong, like they're not a threat to me, but they're no pushover, and they could Republic of Arguin, what the hell? And they are colonizing, and they could be a real problem for me later. So I've got a colony in South Africa set up. I've got a colony in Guyana set up. I have a big 13 colonies. I have a small Mississippi and I have a small Louisiana. I have a Nova Scotia. I have a Canada proper, and I have a Hudson Bay, Newfoundland, and whatever this area is called. I'm keeping for myself. Labrador, duh. I have Bermuda for myself. I have the Caribbean I'm directly controlling as well. For some reason I set up St. Helena as a colony, and I don't think you can annex colonies, so... Oh no, you can. Oh no, you can. Okay, cool. I'll probably annex St. Helena at some point then, because I want islands to propagate my control across the world. So yeah, I'm also... Didn't know I had Saltome, but I do. I'm also working on 3 colonies here and a bunch of colonies up this coast. So I don't like the way that you don't see them until they're like 90% done, or in some cases you just do see them even though they're not like fully done. I think these appeared at like 30%, but then some of these won't appear for ages. Like this one's like what, 25%, and it's appeared, whereas this one's nearly 20. I guess 25% maybe is where it, but no, this one's over 25 and it's not appeared. I know it has appeared here. I don't know, it's a really strange system. I don't know. I also have Cape Verde, which I control myself as well, the whole of Cape Verde. So, and Madeira, because I wanted to just basically block these guys out. They're actually in a union together and quite strong. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, if you have enjoyed, please do let me know. Sorry, my throat is really sore, so I probably sound terrible, but thanks very much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Let me know if you'd like to see me continue this one. I will continue it for my own enjoyment anyway, but I won't be recording it if you guys don't let me know in the comments, you know, if you want to see it. I will get, you know, the 18 whatever achievements in this campaign. So please do let me know if you do want to see that. Yeah, thanks very much, guys, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one.